One Zambia, one nation. Welcome to the news. To present, my name is Henry Himonde. A look at the top stories. President Hakainde Hichilema calls for peace. The government warns administrators of CDF against demanding kickbacks. Pulungu marketeers urged to be calm. Plus, Zambia wins 15 medals at the All Africa Games. And now the news in detail. President Hakainde Hichilema has called for collective efforts together with other organizations to help restore peace and security in parts of the SADC region that are threatened by terrorism. President Hichilema said this when he officially opened the extraordinary SADC Troika Organ Summit in Lusaka today. Mtalekani now reports.
The extraordinary Organ Troika Summit plus SADC Troika has taken place in Lusaka. The summit includes the SADC mission in the Democratic Republic of Congo, SAMI DRC, troops contributing countries, and the SADC mission in Mozambique, SAMIM, personnel contributing countries. With the meeting attracting heads of state and governments from the SADC region, the high-level meeting was being chaired by President Hakainde Hichilema in his capacity as the chairperson of the SADC Organ on Politics, Defense and Security Cooperation.
We took a decision to deploy SADC mission to DRC, as we did to northern Mozambique in Cabo Delgado, to be specific. The presence of the mission is a testament of the continued commitment of our organization SADC to ensure peace, security, and stability.
President Hichilema called for collective effort to find lasting solutions to the security threat in Cabo Delgado province in Mozambique and the eastern part of the Democratic Republic of Congo.
The UN system and our continental body, African Union. We must work as one team to support SADC in this matter, this case, to support other regional bodies, ECOWAS, East African Community, northern parts of Africa, and indeed elsewhere. Our challenges are intertwined. They're interdependent. It doesn't matter where the cause is coming from, but they affect all of us. We must continue to emphasize that point all the time, because it reminds us of our collective responsibility to look after each and every one of our countries, regions in our countries, but also our dear continent.
SADC Executive Secretary Elias Magosi stressed that while gains in Cabo Delgado province in Mozambique have been made, the security situation in eastern DRC still needs urgent attention.
Exactly 2 months ago, Your Excellencies, when I undertook a mission to visit SAMIM and SAMI DRC troops and appreciate their work to boost their morale, as well as experience firsthand the challenges they face. I wish to report, Your Excellencies, that while we have made progress in combating terrorism and acts of violent extremism in Cabo Delgado province through SAMIM efforts, the security situation in eastern DRC is still concerning.
Mtalekani for Zanis News in Lusaka.
Meanwhile, the extraordinary Organ Troika Summit and the SADC Troika have come to a close, with member states reiterating regional commitment in the SADC Mutual Defense Pact that an armed attack against one shall be deemed a threat to regional peace and security. More in the following report.
The extraordinary Organ Troika Summit plus SADC Troika held in Lusaka has officially closed. The high-level meeting was chaired by President Hakainde Hichilema, who is the chairperson of the SADC Organ on Politics, Defense and Security Cooperation. The meeting came to an end with a communique read out by the SADC Executive Secretary after a 3-hour closed-door session.
Summit reiterated its unwavering commitment to provide both diplomatic and military support to the government and the people of the DRC to find lasting solutions to the violent conflict in eastern DRC and to intensify its public diplomacy on the role and successes of the SADC peace support missions, including the SAMIM and SAMI-DRC, to avoid negative external narratives that may compromise the success of SADC peace support missions.
And President Hichilema said issues of conflict should be avoided in order for the limited resources to be channeled towards development in the region.
It's our key responsibility to utilize the limited resources towards improving the livelihoods of our people. And climate change is not making this easy. Climate change is making it a bit more difficult, in fact more difficult, because you can see the drought that this region now has experienced because of climate change. And therefore our resource envelopes are stretched. Now if you add conflict, it worsens the situation.
Stakeholders pledged to support SADC's efforts to uphold peace and security in the region.
Conflict affects lives not only where the conflict is taking place, but the spillover effect in terms of refugees and in terms of humanitarian needs of insecurity and the effect therefore on prosperity and the economy. And so it's vitally important that these conflicts are addressed, that solutions are found, and as the UK we're proud to be here today to show our support towards that solution. Thank you.
His Excellency did mention the importance of partnerships in enhancing peace in the region, and particularly mentioned partnerships with the AU, partnerships with the UN, and I think that is of great relevance because the United Nations, as many of you may be aware, was really set up to maintain peace globally.
But ultimately, the United States stands with the people of the sub-region, whether it's northern Mozambique or eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. We're fundamentally committed to supporting peace and security and commend the leadership here of President Hichilema in guiding the SADC organ troika towards finding a solution and a way forward.
Mtalakani for Zanis News in Lusaka.
In other news, Zambia is among the 5 countries in the world selected to implement the 5-year Urban Futures project aimed at empowering urban youths to become agripreneurs and contribute to more inclusive, climate-resilient urban food systems. Government has since praised HIVOS and its partners for selecting Zambia to benefit from the program, which will contribute to the country's food security. Sande Bwalia now reports.
With the continued effects of climate change threatening food security in the country, government, working with partners such as HIVOS, Consumer Trust Society and the Global Network Solutions, have launched projects dubbed Urban Futures aimed at empowering youths in the agriculture and natural resource value chain to mitigate the challenges of food shortages.
That this project is one of the transformative initiatives aimed at addressing the complex challenges posed by urban climate change and youth and employment in the 2 cities. It is also encouraging to note that the youths are being used as agents of change to create more inclusive, climate-resilient cities and urban food systems. Government therefore welcomes the initiative of the 2 parties to leverage on each other for the development of urban food systems and mitigation of effects of climate change. This will in turn create green jobs through promotion of youth enterprises along the food systems value chain.
The 5-year project, which will be implemented in Kitwe and Chongwe, is targeted at promoting inclusive and resilient food systems in order to provide sustainable food solutions.
We shall therefore consider this as a good start in building the blocks for a climate-resilient Chongwe, climate-resilient Kitwe, climate-resilient Zambia, climate-resilient world, using the youths. So let us change the narrative and restore human dignity.
The project is also expected to provide inclusive, youth-friendly urban policies and strategies on climate-resilient food systems and inspire behavior change.
This project is being implemented globally in 5 countries, in Colombia, Ecuador, Indonesia, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. And it's really focused on working with various multi-stakeholders, young people to contribute towards an inclusive, climate-resilient food system. So we are working in Zambia in 2 cities, that is in Kitwe and in Chongwe, with local partners, CATS International and Copperbelt Health Education Project, and their consortium partner, Global Network Solutions. And we'll be implementing this project over a 5-year period, going up to 2027.
Consumer Trust Society CATS, one of the implementing partners, is optimistic that the project will enhance the capacity of the young people in innovation to drive the food security production agenda.
So the project is looking at how do we come up with sustainable food systems and also tackle climate change. We all know that globally and even in the 2 districts where we're working from, the food systems have collapsed. This is due to a number of reasons. Of course, climate change has contributed, and also climate change is because of the way we are managing our activities, starting from production, transportation, and also waste management. And also, we are also not aware of what the impacts are if we are practicing unsustainable food system practices.
The project is targeting youths aged between 15 to 24, especially those in marginalized communities within Chongwe and Kitwe urban areas. For Zanis in Lusaka, I am Sande Walia.
The imminent commencement of operations by International Resources Holdings at Mopani Copper Mines has sparked enthusiasm among stakeholders in Mufulira district, with anticipation of increased business activity and economic growth. Mufulira Chamber of Commerce President Ebon Peetali anticipates a boost in the district's economy due to IRH's significant investment of $1.1 billion into the mine in Kitwe and Mufulira districts. Rachel Chisulo has more in this report.
The arrival of International Resources Holdings, IRH, to commence operations at Mopani Copper Mines has ignited excitement among stakeholders in Mufulira district. President of the Mufulira Chamber of Commerce, Ebony Peteli, foresees a significant boost in business activities in the district, attributing it to the anticipated increase in production at the mine. With IRH's planned investment of $1.1 billion in the mine spanning Kitwe and Mufulira district, Mr. Peteli is optimistic about the economic prospects.
And I'm sure if a new investor, they are going to acquire loaders, dump trucks, and drilling machines for other contractors. And of course, there will be trickle-down effect to so many other people be doing support work.
Furthermore, the Mufulira Aquaculture Association shares in the enthusiasm, anticipating a positive ripple effect on fish farmers as employment opportunities increase, leading to heightened economic activities within the district.
We are anticipating that with the equity partner coming on board, people will be employed, and therefore there will be money that will be flowing, and people will be able to buy the fish that our fish farmers are coming.
Stakeholders expressed hope that beyond the localized impact on Mufulira and Kitwe, the development will yield benefits for the entire country, underscoring the significance of the venture for national economic growth.
We saw business going down. We saw the income levels of the district going down. So the handover signifies that Mufulira and Copperbelt will come back to life.
During the handover ceremony, Mopani's Chief Executive Officer, Charles Sakanya, underscored the mine's potential for growth once the capitalization process is finalized, indicating promising prospects ahead. Rachel Chisulo, Zanis, Mufulira.
The Ministry of Technology and Science has successfully held consultations in Chinsali district on the review of 2 bills that are focused on aligning technical training, entrepreneurship and nuclear safety to shaping the future of the economy in the country. Muchinga Province Deputy Permanent Secretary Matthews Chilekwa graced the review meeting for the 2 bills in Chinsali district. Pamela Inambao has more in this report.
Gathered for the review of the Technical Education, Vocation and Entrepreneurship Training Bill and the Nuclear and Radiation Protection. The meeting that was held at Katachi Lodge saw various stakeholders from different sectors in Chinsali district submitting their recommendations to the bill. Speaking during the official opening of the meeting, Muchinga Province Deputy Permanent Secretary Reverend Matthews Chilekwa said government aims to develop a bill that reflects the views and concerns of all Zambians.
The bill aims to repeal and replace the outdated Ionizing Radiation Protection Act of 2005. The government aims to develop a bill that truly reflects the views and concerns of all stakeholders nationally. Further, the bill aims at addressing a comprehensive array of critical objectives concerning nuclear safety and radiation protection for us to retain a workable and robust regulatory framework.
During the meeting, recommendations were made.
Issues that we are discussing here, they may not be seen today. Because, for example, if I'm exposed to radioactive materials or those hazards that we have observed or that have been enshrined in this bill, I may not have the effect there and then, but now they are long-term in most cases. And because of that, so you find they have a long effect on our lives.
Mwenya Mlenga is Director, Science, Technology and Innovation at the Ministry of Technology and Science.
So your points, the issues that you raised are very, very valid. The thing that we need to take at the back of our mind is not everything that we've suggested will be taken up. Okay? Because as we sit now to, like you said, to finalize the document, there are things that they'll say, no, I think this cannot, because these are legal issues. The legal minds will no, this cannot come in, this has to come in. But it doesn't mean that everything is thrown out. There are things that will be brought in.
Pamela Inamba reporting for Zanis in Chinsali District, Muchinga Province.
Meanwhile, about 74 groups have received 2.3 million kwacha empowerment grants, while 24 clubs have benefited from loan empowerment of 2.5 million kwacha from the 2024 Constituency Development Fund in Wacha constituency of Kabwe District in Central Province. Provincial Permanent Secretary Muna Monakampwe, who handed over the checks, has warned administrators of the empowerment money against demanding kickbacks from benefiting cooperatives and clubs. Daniel Billy now reports.
74 groups in Wacha constituency in Central Province have benefited from the 2024 Constituency Development Fund empowerment grants, while 24 groups have also benefited from the 2024 loan empowerment. The 74 groups received a check of 2.3 million kwacha for their grants, while 24 groups received a check of 2.5 million kwacha as loan empowerment fund. Central Province Permanent Secretary Muna Monakampwe graced the event with a warning to ward development committees who ask for kickbacks from the beneficiaries.
This is your idea. There is a temptation that some WDCs will go back to the beneficiaries. WDC. And I want to work, we must work together. Yourselves, councillors who are here, let's work together. This money is meant for the people. Abantu bakwalesa kabalelila. Nishiresa kumuluna walelila. Bantu filamba vya bantu, filamba vya kwalesa.
Wacha Member of Parliament Sidin Mshanga encouraged the beneficiaries to prudently utilize the funds.
Go and work, go and apply these monies that they are getting. There will be serious transformation at personal level, constituency level, district level, and there will be transformation in your families and in the communities, the ones where you are coming from. I'm talking from experience. I've seen in other communities I've been traveling, not only in my constituency, but also other constituencies and beyond the borders of this country. These are the programs that brings a difference in the lives of the people.
Kabwe Mayor Patrick Shala says the local authority will continue to be efficient in the dispensation of the loans and grants to the communities.
So our job is when the money comes, that apply kata kuchani, we make sure that impia wakushapokelewa. Ama figures kanage sata yamepa, you agree with me that Wacha constituency, ifutu mwaka wa 2023, walipata ripoti ukwebati ilipale ayo constituencies aya bombele wino sana in terms of spending the money for CDF prudently.
Daniel Billy for the News in Kabwe District, Central Province.
Daniel Billy with that report there. Now, the Zambia Public Procurement Authority, ZPPA, says there is need to dialogue among stakeholders involved in the implementation of Constituency Development Fund projects. Zambia Public Procurement Authority Board Chairperson Richard Chizuka says CDF committees, line ministries and the community need to keep constant communication in order for projects to be completed on time. He was speaking when he monitored the construction of a 1x2 science laboratory at Makeni GRZ School and the construction of a 1x3 classroom block at Kalundu Primary School, both funded by CDF. Audrey Kalenga now gives us details in this report.
The Zambia Procurement Authority has continued monitoring constituency development funds project in selected constituencies. Today, the team has inspected the construction of a 1x2 science laboratory at Makeni GRZ School and the construction of a 1x3 classroom block at Kalundu Primary School, both in Chilanga constituency. ZPPA board chairperson in the company of other board members started by paying a courtesy call on Chilanga Town Council Secretary Grayson Sakala.
Projects actually have been completed. They involved the construction, full construction. So both have actually been concluded and they have been handed over by the contractor. We are happy with the work, and I think the usual challenge that the local contractors face sometimes, it's financing gaps. You'll find that at a time you'd expect them to provide their own financing. They have to request for funding maybe midstream before their next IPC actually comes to maturity.
And Makeni GRZ School Headmaster Anastasia Mangala said the laboratory will help provide hands-on experience and enhance practical skills for science subjects.
Foremost, I would like to thank the community because it started with the community. That we have the 1x2 laboratory standing. Thankful. It will really impact the learning of the pupils. As you know, science is a practical subject. And as such, it is better learned when they are experiments, when you are doing it practically. They should be hands-on every time when you are teaching science.
Meanwhile, Zambia Public Procurement Authority Board Chairperson is impressed with what he has witnessed at both sides.
It's very well executed, maybe up to 90%. Very well executed by local contractors here. The standards of the construction, the building, the floors are excellent. Let me start with the laboratory that we saw. That's a masterpiece in terms of work that has been done.
The Constituency Development Fund plays a critical role in promoting human and infrastructure development at the community and constituency levels, as it facilitates various projects such as education and health. Audrey Kalenga for Zanis in Chilanga.
Eastern Province Meteorological Department has encouraged people in the area to adapt to climate change by growing drought-resistant crops. Eastern Province Meteorological Officer Daniel Mumbo says drought-resistant crops such as cassava will enable people survive the long-term effects of prolonged dry spells caused by climate change. We have details in the following report.
With the change of the weather pattern over the years, most parts of Eastern Province have negatively been affected, resulting into drought and, in recent years, floods. At the commemoration of the World Meteorological Day, Eastern Province Meteorological Officer Daniel Mumbo outlined the importance of adapting to the current weather patterns.
As you know, this year's season has been influenced by the El Nino climate phenomenon, which we had prolonged dry spells and insufficient rainfall activities in most parts of the country. As a department, we work on early warning systems, which is used to influence decision making to our key stakeholders.
Mr. Mumbo has, however, emphasized the need for the younger generation to take keen interest in meteorological issues and climate change.
We have chosen to come at Hillside Secondary School in order to educate the young ones or educate the pupils on how the best practices for mitigation and adaptation which they can use in their daily lives. We believe they are the future generation who take over this planet, and we believe as we are handling them this planet, it has to be green, and they should continue with the practices which will be taught to them.
And in an effort to reduce the adverse effects of climate change, pupils at Hillside Girls Secondary School are already embracing the tree planting exercise.
As Hillside Girls, we had this program about planting trees, and also we are being educated about the effects of climate change.
If us Zambians can get use of this climate change, which is drought or floods, we should be aware of the type of crops that we need to plant. For instance, drought-resistant crops such as cassava. So we can make mealie meal out of cassava. As we have seen, there's a food shortage of mealie meal, and people, farmers cannot harvest maize because of the drought.
The 2024 World Meteorological Day was commemorated under the theme "At the Front Line of Climate Actions." Patso Dimbani, Zanis News, Chipata District, Eastern Province.
Now, Northern Province Permanent Secretary Bernard Mpundu has appealed to traders affected by an inferno that gutted goods worth millions of kwacha at Mpulungu main market to remain calm and assured them of government support. Mr. Mpundu, who led a team from provincial administration and the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit, conducted an on-the-spot check of the gutted market, which has affected more than 200 traders. From Mpulungu, Helen Bwalia reports.
He has visited Mpulungu district to appreciate the extent of damage of Mpulungu main market after it was gutted by fire. Northern Province Permanent Secretary Bernard Mpundu led a team from the Provincial Administration and the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit, DMMU, to check on the damage. Mr. Mpundu also interacted with the over 200 traders who have lost property worth millions of kwacha through a fire that started in the early hours of Friday.
Ubuteko buli neno muri fyonse fye mwapita mwena Mpulungu teke ni fyo mutima. Ila market yapa Central Town ilia ili nokuba rebuilt bale panga chipya mwebe ni mwele mukwe mukubomba pantu fye mubomba na chisa fyene bumba lyesu ili utatse tumilangi okutila ubuteko wawaka inde ichilema uko wekele kurusaka n'abasakamana bachachitika lelo muno mu Mpulungu.
The affected traders appealed to the government to help cushion the impact caused by the fire.
Mwebuteko na mwebene tusakamaneni tuli bana benu twalikwata bana bashiwa bakaskulu abo tusunga na bakoteba mwabo tusunga bashikwete amaka ya kusaimini na market
kubuteko kwena mutu mone mutu afweko ifwe kumpulungu twashara fye kwati no mweshumo itsepro kubati twarangira ale bale twisaira bemba mu May kwa 15 May so batumone ko kwena tulie abasanso echine kabiri abashikwete na paku mwokuboko.
Gerhard Sikazwe is Mpulungu District Commissioner.
Ile mwalalanda n'abantu benu mwalasenda nombe ekishinka pantucho twakiralanda pa phone iyo tulela ishanya teti chumfwiki nomba apa mwai mwena na mu market monse mwashinguluka ichi twatotela sana ba PS mkwai.
The cause of the fire which gutted the Mpulungu main market has not been established, and investigations have commenced to ascertain the cause. Helen Bwalia for Zanis in Mpulungu District, Northern Province.
Lusaka District Commissioner Rosa Zulu has cautioned the public against attempting to collect social cash transfer payments on behalf of beneficiaries when they are not the next of kin. Ms. Zulu says government is doing its best to ensure that befitting beneficiaries are properly saved. The District Commissioner observed this during the monitoring of the social cash transfer payment exercise for over 28,000 beneficiaries in Lusaka District. We have more in the following report.
Babwele abo batenye ndalama imwe siza babomereza bakakupasana ndalama aba bacha bamene bayimirira kuja niwa uzaba bamange aba bamesesa so imwe mumangiwa mukabapasa ndalama.
This is the situation Lusaka District Commissioner Rosa Zulu found in Mandevo constituency as she monitored the social cash transfer payments to over 28,000 registered beneficiaries in different pay points of the district. She observed that unauthorized persons were lining up to collect money on behalf of the registered beneficiaries. However, Lusaka District Social Welfare Officer explains the source of this confusion.
So what it is when we are registering, most of them refuse to put a next of kin. Why? Because they think that person will get their money. Yes. So now when they are sick, and they are not able to come to the pay point, that is the situation where you find that they send somebody else. And yet the guidelines are very clear to say you have to have a next of kin so that when you are not available, that person can come and get the transfer for you.
When you know you are not the next of kin, next of kin, please. We are trying by all means as government to make sure that we satisfy our people. But now our people, you don't want to appreciate the government.
Some of the elderly beneficiaries raised concerns over mobile money payments.
Kulingana empya shineshisha bakalamba napokapo fiemi kwibiri mu phone talimoneka mweshi waba utatu tashimoneke ndalama ifu amakatatu kwete nopya ni wapela fyo muntu wati ndolela pa phone ati tamu asinguluga yafumi.
Lusaka District Commissioner was at hand to address their concerns.
Munalembewa mwenzo tenga ndalama zanu simuzipoka basiwa kibauzeni bebe atenge problem yanu baipeleke kwa office.
Miriam Mwemba, Zanis in Lusaka.
In Northern Province, Lunte District Commissioner Joseph Chilando has reiterated government's commitment to eradicating poverty among vulnerable households through the social cash transfer program. Mr. Chilando, who interacted with beneficiaries of the social cash transfer program in Mukupakaoma area, warned beneficiaries against misusing the funds. Sylvia Zulu has more in this report.
These gloves have been very helpful to Anthony Msonda of Mukupakaoma village in Lunte district, especially when he is making daily movements. He is sometimes assisted by a little boy when moving from one place to another. Mr. Msonda, who was recently added on the social cash transfer program, has come to this center to receive his bi-monthly transfer. And 96-year-old John Kaluba is also a beneficiary of the social cash transfer program. Lunte District Commissioner Joseph Chilando, who interacted with social cash transfer beneficiaries in Mukupakaoma's area, has cautioned them against misusing the funds.
Kanshi mkwaishi ndalama kubo mfya bwino twakula pita mulimo twakulatia twaisa kukapundu twamona ni bani bapoka social cash transfer finshi muchitamu turefu atwasanga po kweba titapali nsala panga ndati mkwai.
Reporting for Zanis, Sylvia Zulu in Lunte District.
And in other news, Luapula Province Permanent Secretary Maiti Mumba says government has prioritized access to safe and clean water and improved sanitation as key to enhanced social and human development. Mr. Mumba was speaking when he officiated at this year's World Water Day commemoration in Mwansabombwe district under the theme, Leveraging Water for Peace. Lewis Changwe has more in this report.
The commemoration of Global Hand Washing Day in Luapula Province was this year held at Salanga Secondary School in Mwansabombwe district. Different players in the water sector attended the celebration, which was held under the theme, Leveraging Water for Peace. Provincial Permanent Secretary Maiti Mumba, who officiated at the occasion, started by paying a kata score at the Mwata's Palace.
I'll be failing in my duties if I don't thank you all for the kind of support that you have rendered to this community. Admittedly, yes, there are certain things that we can do on our own, but others will need your interventions. We have been told that water is life. People should be able to have clean and safe drinking water.
The government, through the National Rural Water Supply and Sanitation Program, is rolling out to all districts the operation and maintenance system, including supply chain management of spare parts, as well as systems for maintenance of water points from to community level. The aim of this program is to sustain the state of operation and maintenance of constructed and rehabilitated facilities.
CARE International Zambia Country Director Chikwe Mbwenda and UNICEF Deputy Country Representative Henry Kura also attended the ceremony.
Hand washing with soap is among the most effective and inexpensive ways to prevent pneumonia and diarrheal diseases. And together, we are all responsible for, and this works out to be responsible for the most child deaths in the world.
Clean and safe water plays a crucial role in promoting the health and well-being of children. It is essential for their growth, development, and overall quality of life. That is why UNICEF, the global leader of child rights, invests in this fundamental right that is so essential for every child's health.
The ceremony was characterized with songs and dances. Lewis Changwe, Zanis, Mwansabombwe, Luapula Province.
Now, thousands of people from all walks of life flocked St. Lawrence Parish in the Mulunga district to pay their last respects to late senior Induna Inete Mwangilwa Akapelwa Silumbu of the Barose Royal Establishment, who was shot dead on Monday. Officiating at the burial procession, Minister of Water Development and Sanitation, Mike Mposha, conveyed condolences on behalf of President Hakainde Hichilema and the government to the family and the BRE. He stated that it is heartbreaking that the life of such an exceptional leader ended in such a manner. Stella Goma has more in this report.
A dark cloud has hovered over the Mulunga district as thousands of people flocked in to pay their last respect to late senior Induna Inete Mwangwelwa Kapelwa Silumbu of the Barose Royal Establishment, BRE, who was shot dead on Monday. A high delegation of senior government officials were in attendance. Officiating at the burial procession, Minister of Water Development and Sanitation, Mike Mposha, has described the death of Induna Inete as a great loss to the country.
This loss is not a loss for you alone. It is a loss for the whole country, considering the various roles that Induna Inete played in different institutions. We were all shocked that such a great man, such a good man, such a humble man would have his life ended in such a barbaric way. This saddened the president, who spoke to us about this death, and all of us who knew how Induna Inete how willing he was to serve in different positions.
He was approachable and flexible and was always available to give a listening ear to the Mungu Council. I wish to take this opportunity to urge the Zambia police to intensify investigations into this matter and ensure that the killer is dealt with according to law.
Meanwhile, the Barroso Royal Establishment has noted that it has been robbed of an exceptional leader, thus calling on the police to bring the culprit to book. And the family has described late Senior Induna Inete as a family pillar who was the source of wisdom.
As a father, you wore many hats: a mentor, a confidant, a provider, and a friend. There will be no other Wondate and no other Induna like you. Though the world took you from us in a crucial manner and in a cruel manner, that has left us with pain that we may never heal from. We are comforted that you have gone to be with Mom and the Lord.
Apart from being a senior Induna in the Barroso Royal Establishment, Induna Inete was also the chairperson of the Board of Directors in the Western Water Supply and Sanitation Company. Stella Goma reporting for Zanis in Limulunga District, Western Province.
We can only hope that the soul of our departed Induna will rest in peace. And now sports news. Zambia has won 15 medals at the ongoing 2023 All Africa Games in Accra, Ghana. According to results, Zambia minted 4 gold, 5 silver and 4 bronze medals, taking her ranking to 14th place on the overall medal table at the All Africa Games. The 15 medals were recorded in 5 sports codes, namely athletics, boxing, swimming, judo, and taekwondo. The 13th edition of the All Africa Games in Ghana came to a close today after running for the last 15 days. And on that note, we come to the end of the news. But before we go away, let's take another look at the top stories in our news. President Hakainde Hichilema calls for peace. The government warns administrators of CDF against demanding kickbacks. Pulungu marketeers urged to be calm. Plus, Zambia wins 15 medals at the All Africa Games. That is all we had packaged for you on the news. On behalf of the entire news production crew, my name is Henry Himonde. Goodbye.